I'm not sure if I'm making the right decision here. I could be making a big mistake. I guess I just won't know until a few weeks pass by and we see the ultimate results of my management here. And it'll only be between Carrie and I and 43,000 subscribers. One of those management decisions that has to be made is adding space. Adding space to any hive requires a little bit of thought, because when we add space to a colony, you put it up on top, it changes the ceiling. Where that ceiling is, you throw the ceiling up on top of another box, and it just provides all that extra space, which is fine if it's warm. These colonies can adapt and can just adjust to that change of house. But when it's cold and these colonies maybe aren't as strong as they should be, that change of house influences stress onto that colony as those house dynamics change, and they kind of set back just a little bit. And that little bit of stress just provides the opportunity for a disease to come in and take hold. And I've seen it happen before, where I go through and I put space up on top and we get really cold weather, and I come back through, and the next 2.5 weeks after, these colonies are just kicking chalkbird out the front. It really takes the edge off these colonies. That staggered development. So I'm not sure if I'm making the right decision here. We're going through and we're adding space on top. The forecast is for cold weather for the next few days. Daytime highs of single digits and nighttime lows of down to -4, -5 at night. So these are definitely the conditions that should warrant the management practice of adding that space underneath that colony cluster. But I don't want to do that. And one of the reasons why I don't want to do that is because it's a hell of a lot of work. Right now I'm extremely behind in my work. We're piecemealing work throughout the apiary right now. We haven't followed through with a single job through the entire apiary yet, because we're always staggered by the weather. We're behind with too much work, and I can't just follow through with a complete action. So just kind of like staggered work, and eventually, finally, we do get that job done. But it's just like we're getting pieces and pieces of, and we just all put it together, and it's just a complete scrambling to get anything done around here. So far behind. If I put that box underneath, it's not only going to add a shit ton of work to actually do that, but it's going to cause us a shit ton of work to actually manage that afterwards too. As we put that box underneath, that satisfies that nest at that time, but then we had to put that box back on top to allow the natural development of the queen moving upwards. So the problem is, when you start making decisions on workload, is when you start compromising the health and the well-being of these colonies. And once you start making decisions on getting behind in work and not getting that work done, then these colonies start to suffer because of management actions that we influence on these colonies that ultimately negatively affect their development and performance moving forward. And that's exactly what's happening right now. Got too much work. We have to get as much done as we can in the opportunities we do. So we have to start making decisions on, pressing those boundaries, walking that line, just trying to forge ahead and get as much work we can done with a little bit of time that's allowed it. I've listened to Ian for well over a year. I'm 100% convinced if he woke up one day and there is nothing to gripe about, he would not know what to do with himself. The beauty of Ian's griping is he uses it to motivate himself. Whereas many people who gripe are crippled by their own griping, Ian is different. Griping is fire. So I found that just a little bit amusing. Well themed for today's video as well. Actually, every one of my bloody videos pretty much is what it is griping. But I guess one way to look at it, my griping is, focusing in on the conditions within the hives, focusing in on conditions outside of the hives, and just trying to target everything these hives need to be able to grow. But we just pulled into this yard, and I want to show you something that's not griping. Try to get in the sun here. Look at the streams of pollen coming into these colonies. These girls have found wealth of pollen out there. They are bringing it in. They haven't flown for it'd be a few days now. And it's just streams of this yellow coming into the hive. It must be willow. We have poplars just starting to pass now. But that has come into the colonies in great amount. We have willows, and I think the maples are just starting to come out. So these colonies have a lot of nutrition coming into their hives right now. It's quite exciting to watch.